Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin. And this is my coffee. And I am Kevin, and I'm hoping you're enjoying a nice hot cup of coffee, tea, or whatever you're drinking, whatever you want to put into your drinks with me now. Wow, it's February 7th already. February 7th on this day in history. We had a few notables that were born on this day. Chris Rock was born on this day. Garth Brooks, yes. And in 1812, Charles Dickens. If Charles Dickens wasn't born, we wouldn't know the ghost of the past, present, and future. I thought it was so great. A couple other things happened on this day. It's amazing. Pinocchio premiered in 1940, and his nose just kept on growing longer and longer. Mary Queen of Scots in 1587 was beheaded. A sad day for today. There was also an earthquake on this day, and I can't remember the year, in Missouri. And the thing about this earthquake is it actually caused the Mississippi River to run backwards for several hours. Can you imagine that? Run backwards for several hours. On this day, it was the first untethered spacewalk by a naval captain that was on the Challenger. And I thought of this. A spacewalk. We see all these sci-fi movies. When the tether gets cut, they go, whoa! So I thought, well, you must have some sort of jetpack. But how do you rely on the fact that that's going to work for you? And then I read that this particular captain created it himself. He invented it. He worked on it. So he was trusting himself. He was putting his life in his own hands when he walked out of the space shuttle untethered. It's just something that got me, and I said, whoa, that's when you are totally free, but you're also free to drift off. It's a wild day and a great day in history. And one last thing happened in 1964. On this day, a certain group from England landed in New York City. Beatlemania started on this day. All right. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. Wonderful day in history, as is all days. I wanted to talk to you this morning as I'm drinking my coffee. And as you know, I am a mindset coach. What the heck is a mindset coach? I work on helping get your mind in a place where you can become the best you. I help you get your mind in a place where you can work and enjoy your job or run your business at the best you can. And it's all about what's in your mind. So today I wanted to talk about something about your mind. I want to talk about personal growth. And I titled it, If You're Not Growing, You're Dying. I took that from a quote from Tony Robbins. And he says, just like plants, if we don't grow, we die. And we're not going to physically die if we're not growing. Good morning, Joan. Oh, it's been such a long time. Hi, Larry. We're not going to physically die, obviously. But if we're not growing, we're dying inside. If we're not constantly feeding our mind, and there is Miracle Grow out there for our mind. And it's the kind of learning that helps you expand. And I'll tell you something about this because I've learned so much about this over the years. I was a proponent of this 30, 40 years ago. I was a proponent of this when I was a kid. My mom used to listen to speakers and authors like Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale and many others. And she had records, vinyl records, yes. And she would listen to them because, you know what, she believed in this too. She was a real estate broker and knew that she had to get the right mindset. She knew that she had to grow in her mind. And so as she was listening to these things, I was listening to these as well. And then from there on, as I grew up, I would become an avid listener, an avid believer in growth. And I would, cassettes is what we had when I was driving my car. And I plugged cassettes in and listened to them and listened to people like Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy and a lot of people like that. It would help my mind grow. Let's talk about the mind growing, and more in a more neuroscientist scientific way. It's all about your brain wiring. The more the neurons fire, the more we wire in the brain. What does that mean? That means your brain just gets healthier and healthier. It gets more synapses wired and it grows. Not physically grow. There's a lot of room in the brain, for all sorts of things that we can learn. And it makes the brain healthy. I saw a study quite a long time ago. And it said, one of the things to stave off dementia or Alzheimer's in your old age is to actually see new things, have new experiences. Go drive around places you haven't seen before. Do things you haven't done before. You don't have to do crazy stuff. You just have to do stuff. Thank you, Larry. You just have to do stuff that you haven't done or just small experiences. And it keeps the brain continually rewiring itself or creating new synapses and keeping healthy. So we don't have to wait until then. I am a big believer in the University of the Road, meaning I got a lot of my learning in and I learned a ton of things on the road, in the car. And if you spend time in the car on a regular daily basis, do this. Now you can listen to the kinds of speakers and authors that I listen to, or you can listen to some really brilliant podcasts out there, because that seems to have replaced a lot of things. As long as it's podcast, where there's something new you're going to learn on a daily basis. Road Scholar, thank you. As long as it's podcast that there's something new and healthy, because there's some podcasts out there that aren't healthy at all, then you can do that. Spend some time, maybe dedicate a half an hour a day and listen to some recordings of some podcast. I am an Audible guy. So I have well over 100 books in Audible, and I've listened to 98% of them. I've actually listened just about to all of them to some degree, but I've finished most of them. And I continue to listen to more and more of them all the time. If you can dedicate a half an hour a day, that's what you're going to do. I'm going to listen to this, I'm going to listen to that. Do that. Continue to grow in your mind. Continue to grow in your brain. And you'll be healthy. And the things you listen to, things you learn will also help you. Find the things that you think you're weak at. Find the things that you're not so comfortable with and learn more about them. And become more comfortable and start to excel yourself. Now, the thing is, being sediment, being happy, with where you are now and not wanting to move. And it sounds good. It sounds good. The only thing is, if we're not moving, the world around us always is, isn't it? So if we don't grow and the world around us grows, then we get left behind. So there's another reason for constantly looking for personal growth, to grow ourselves, grow our minds. And that's what today was about. It's about just doing that. It's keeping a healthy brain by constantly learning new. And you don't have spending hours and hours a day, just a little time a day. Get that brain wired. Get those neurons firing, and the brain starts wiring. All right, this has been Coffee with Kevin. And I mentioned this last week, and I'm excited. CNLP. No, those of you that have watched me before, heard me before, I talk about NLP. NLP is one of my passions. Neuro-linguistic programming is one of my passions. Well, our new company is CNLP, and the NLP has nothing to do with neuro-linguistic programming. Next, Center for Next Level Performance. Doesn't that sound exciting? Doesn't that sound like growth, personal, professional, health, relationship, next level? Get to that next level. You can see our new website at www.cnlpcoaching.com. I'm excited about this. Lisa Schermerhorn and I are going to make a difference in the world. We're going to make a difference in corporations. We're going to make a difference in a lot of individuals, helping them discover their own personal passions, their own personal motivation. And then, knowing that, helping them launch themselves in their career, in their business, in their relationships, in their health, in their personal growth. That's what next level performance is all about. All right. Until next week, you can see my coffee. Oh, I got to go like that. My coffee sign back there. It's all about coffee. And it's okay if it's about coffee with Kevin. Love that coffee. I want you to have a great day, have a great week. And, of course, you don't have to wait for it to happen or hope it's going to happen. You can make it happen. Make it a great day. Make it a great week. If you want to know any more about this personal growth and the kind of resources for that, reach out to me, and I'd be glad to have a conversation with you. All right, everyone. Take care. Joan and Larry, thank you for commenting in. I really appreciate it. Take care, all.